So what we're going to do here is a modified curl up from the Mcgill Big Free Core Stability. So Nereus is he's on the floor already, he's got both legs coming close to the bum. Now it's a little bit different than a normal sit-up. So we're actually going to have one leg completely straight out in front of you. It doesn't really matter which one. And he's going to have one leg with his foot towards his bum. Now he's going to position the hand where the leg is straight underneath towards his lower back. So it's almost works like a pressure sensor. So he can feel when his lower back starts to move. He can use his hand to feel. If he starts to overarch, he will feel the lower back moving away from him. And then if he starts to round up the lower back at all, then he's going to feel more pressure onto his hand. Okay? The other hand can just be wherever you want, out to the side. So from this position, all he's going to do is take a big breath, brace the stomach, so tense up all the stomach muscles, and he's going to lift his head off of the floor. And he's just going to hold this position for around 10 seconds whilst keeping that stomach firmly engaged. And notice how there's no movement from the torso. There's no movement from the spine at all. So his back is firm on the floor. The only thing that moved was his head coming off the floor. And then when he's ready, he's going to get his head back down onto the floor. And then if he's going to go for another set again, he can catch his breath just after holding it for a while. Take a big breath, brace, and then lift the head again. And it's just holding this position. And remember, you're using that hand as a sensor to see if your lower back starts to move at all. And then that's it. So the same thing on the other side is we're going to have switch around the legs just for the view. So he's going to have the opposite leg now with the foot's into the bum, and then the other leg is straight. And he's got the hand going directly underneath the lower back. So again, this acts as that pressure sensor. So when he's doing the exercise, he can feel if the lower back's starting to move. If it's going away from him, he's going to feel less pressure on the hand. If it's going on top of him, like going into a rounded back, then he's going to feel more pressure. So then from this position, he's going to take a big breath. And it's almost like he's expanding all of his stomach out to the side and coming upwards. And he's going to squeeze those stomach muscles and then lift up the head off the floor and then holding that position for around 10 seconds. And then once he's done, he can bring his head back down onto the floor. There's one little modification you can do. If you start to get loads of tension in the neck, you can bring the chin towards the chest, and then you can lift up the head from there. So you still do the same big breath, bracing the stomach sequence, and then you can lift up the head off the floor with the chin a bit closer to the chest. Holding it still for 10 seconds, and then return to the starting position, and we're finished.